this very lovely, bright Monday morning. Today is the 26th day in the month of October, the year 2020. It's exactly a minute past 11. My name is Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker, and you know very well that this very program, the two speak Oyibo, as we go speak Oyibo, we go speak Igbo, we go speak English. The most important thing is to communicate. Happy about the program.
Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Asuzu Chinedu Peters. Asuzu Chinedu Peters.
All right, no Biolimi here. I also have Asuzu Chinedu Peters in the studio. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Asuzu.
Yeah, thank you very much, the very senior comrade and the speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We don't have time. And then what we want to look at this very morning for everyone listening to us, we want us to look at a movement driven by ideology without a leader.
Exactly.
I think we want to also look at what really is EndSARS movement. Sometimes people have said that movement, they don't have a leader. There are some people say they are leaderless, they are rulerless. You cannot find a leader. You have a movement. And even when president is saying, we want them to engage government. Who are they? So let's look at what really is this EndSARS movement is all about. What do you think it's all about?
Yes, my brother, we've always said on this program that good governance ministry is where we bring the people. It's like an institution. It's like a university where we sensitize and empower the people with the right information. And the freedom starts with opening up the mind and consciousness of the people. And what we're seeing in Nigeria today, EndSARS, is not just about police brutality, which many tagged it because that is where the fire ignited from. But truly, EndSARS is much more than just police brutality. And on the course of this program, we'll be taking it one. We may not even finish it today. We may not finish the entire meaning or what actually, when we say EndSARS, what is entailed. And when we talk about the good governance in Nigeria today, and when we say when the government fails, the people will rise to fix it. This is just what you are seeing in Nigeria. People are tired of bad governance. And EndSARS, like police brutality, is just like symptom of malaria. And addressing the symptoms of malaria is not addressing the malaria. You have to go down to the root, just like a tree that one of the branches bearing bad fruit. You don't just go and cut off that branch and think you've solved the problem. The problem lies on the root. So that is the meaning. When we say EndSARS, we're talking about ending the bad economy and educational system. That is the meaning of the first E, economic and educational reform. You understand? If you look at Nigeria today, many of the politicians, their children are schooling abroad. Most of them, their children school abroad. The schools we have here, they continue going from one strike to the other, very expensive with quality education. And that is why the people have come up to say, you have to fix our schools. The public schools supposed to be setting standard. That is how it is done in the same society. The public school should set standard. And this is the breeding ground for corruption. Now, when you are unable, when you say, I can't take my children or my child to a public school because, it is equal to, uneducating the person. But when you now say, okay, I want to give my child a good and quality education, you start looking out for private schools, which are very expensive. So how can a policeman that you are paying for 8,000 naira afford to go to take their children to that private school? They have to find shortcuts. They have to find any other means to augment. Likewise, every other person, the traders on the street, even civil servants and public servants alike, it's a spillover. So once the education is down and the private institutions or private schools are not taking advantage of it to high prices, now another person ordinarily take the children to school, afford it. So they have to find ways. And that is why you're seeing the brutality on the street. You see a policeman armed with AK-47 trying to extort money, even down to the ATM machine, because they want to make sure they meet up. They have children to school. Okay, so this is the E in EndSARS. And there are many of them. Like the N in EndSARS is Nigerian constitutional reform.
Okay.
The major problem of Nigeria is the constitution. First of all, it started with we, the Nigerian people. But the truth of the matter is that the Nigerian people never came together to agree on that constitution. It's an imposed constitution. It's a military constitution that was adopted. You understand? But if the people of Nigeria come together, Nigeria is saying we are Republicans with Federal Republic of Nigeria. Where is the Republican constitution? Where is the federating constitution that make up Nigerian constitution? It is no longer available. What we are having here is unitary system of government. And that is why there is impunity in the system. Everything is rushing down to Abuja. Every month, everybody goes to Abuja to collect his own monthly allocation. Even the politicians, the way they come up from, a march. You see, in the politics, they say Abuja has signed the person. I must say this on the radio. Many politicians, even one called me yesterday night, telling me that I should join his train, that Abuja has sanctioned him to be the governor of Anambra State next year. You can imagine their mentality. You're no longer the people. Democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But when you now have the government from a very far away place, they don't even speak your language. The person that you're talking to don't even understand your plight. Nigeria is too big and too vast. So that's why we say constitutional reform. There are so many exclusive, lists and recurrent lists. And that is the big problem. Okay, the issue of police reform. If the constitution has empowered the states to have their own police, some of these things will not be happening. Okay, so these are part of the things when we say EndSARS. Okay. Then going down to the next one, D, says debt accountability. And I want to tell everybody listening, because this is a university where we educate the people. Okay. Keep writing these things down so that you can educate other people. And always join this program. Don't miss it, because we are here to empower you with the right, so that people will understand where we are heading to. Okay. Now, the end there is debt accountability. Today we see every day they are coming up with debts. They borrow. State governments are borrowing. The federal government, they are borrowing. And at the end of the day, you don't see it affect or improve the lives of the people directly. They use it to fund fat salaries for themselves. And that will take me to the next meaning of this EndSARS.
That's the S.
That's the S. That's the S. Stopping fat salaries for politicians. Okay, so the debt accountability, they don't account for the debt. They accrue huge debts, and it end up in private purses. Now, stopping the fast salaries, I'll publish a video on BVI Channel 1 where a senator on a national TV is trying to justify fast salaries they are earning. You can imagine 5% of the Nigerian less than 5% of Nigerian population having from the budget more than over 2 billion. It is too much. Now, the other one on the list is abroad medical trips. Abroad medical trips. Now we've been saying it on this platform, if the politicians or the lawmakers make laws banning political office holders, whether appointed or elected, from going to medical trips abroad while in office, they will start fixing our hospitals.
That's true.
Our hospitals will start working. Okay? We saw so many of them struggling with COVID-19. Why? Because they no longer have access to travel abroad. This is what Nigerian people have been dying of for a long time. Our hospitals are dilapidated. They are not well equipped. Okay, during the massacre that happened at Lekki, one of the victims, the brother was shot. The military took the brother alongside with him to treat him at the military hospital inside their barrack. Do you know there was no light? There was nothing to handle. And now you can imagine these personnel, they are supposed to have this medical service helping the military community within that barrack and beyond. But they don't have electricity. They don't have equipment. They cannot even access good medical service. Now you're exposing these same people to the victimization of the entire Nigerian people. This is what we are saying. Even the men on uniform, they are also victims of this EndSARS in Nigeria. Everybody in Nigeria is a victim. The only beneficiaries of the impunity of Nigeria are the political class. I keep saying it. So the A there is ending the abroad medical treatment. Once you do that, our health will start working. Once you start fixing our schools here or banning their children from going abroad to school, then our schools here will start working. They will start testing the soup they are cooking for Nigerians. They will start testing it. And with that, they will start making better soup for Nigerian people. Now, the R there is to restructure Nigeria to regional government. This is where we are. That is almost the bottom line, but not just the bottom line. The restructuring of Nigeria has been, even the government in power today came in with the promise under their manifesto that they are going to restructure Nigeria. But today you see them trying to paint it, trying to put cosmetic, trying to use water-coated tongue, sugar-coated tongue to, tell Nigerians a different thing. And to many people, it means different thing. But what do we mean when we say restructure Nigeria to regional government? Let's go back to the regional government so that the regional government at the regional level, you handle your judiciary, you handle your electoral laws, you handle your security, you handle your economy. All of these things will address the many problems Nigerian people are facing. Then we'll now come back to the very last one, which is S, save cost of governance. Okay. Now, Nigeria, I keep saying it every time. Only for Nigeria, you can imagine Tony Mbeki. You're a businessman, a very successful businessman, and a prudent one at that matter. And you go about to your business with just one small car that is good, economic car that can take you to where you're going and all of that. And me, that is struggling in my business, will come to borrow money from you with convoys of more than 25 cars.
That's analogy.
You understand? And coming with such kind of entourage to come and borrow from you. Will you look at me as somebody that is serious in life? Will you look at me as somebody that will ever want to pay back that money? The cost of governance in Nigeria is much more than anywhere around the world. In America, we know how much they pay their senators. We know how much senators in America go to Washington, they rent one-bedroom apartment. Once they are done for the week, they go back to their constituency. And most time report back to their constituency. But here, they collect everything. Even here, they will be bold to even tell you the kind of car they require. At every year, they will be changing vehicles for them. With all the fast salaries, the constituency money, they bag it. And all the rest. That is why you are seeing a lot of madness. That is why they can do anything to enter. If you slash the cost of governance in Nigeria, poverty will be reduced. I think this is the bottom line, what we call irreducible minimum when we say EndSARS. And this movement will continue. Now, talking about a movement without a leader. Like I say, it's not like it is without a leader, but we have collegiate leadership at every level. Everybody is a leader at every level. Now, we witnessed during the time this protest started, we saw the people, they are well organized. They have where you go and ease yourself in the morning, you come back, you dress, you take your bath, come back to the protest ground. All the literaries, they collect it. Everybody that if some people that got their car smashed, they repair it. Everything was very organized. Everyone was, well fed. And we are looking at very organized people. Now, when we say people complaining that there is no head, they do this because I say it that when a movement like this happens, then the people have risen. And you don't need a head, a spearhead, because they are looking for that person to bribe. They are looking for a group of people to corner one side so that they will use them to calm the situation. That was why it became very difficult for them to handle, because there is nobody to bribe. It is a spontaneous movement, but it came at the time when we have continued. We BVI Channel 1, the what they call civil society organizations and the people who are online sensitizing the people, empowering the people with the right information about the powers they have under the democratic principle. Now, they are now coming up to make demands. They are now realizing that they have the power. And everybody at every level is coming up with the same demand and consciousness. So they are looking for somebody to corner and say, hey, this group, let me settle you and you will now calm everything down. So when that fails, the whole thing, you know. So this is why we say the people, everybody have to be involved. And finally, where we are heading to is for the young people to come forward, for new leadership to emerge outside the current system, for new people to come forward, the new young people to come forward that will make change. That is exactly what we're
Thank you
talking
so
about.
much. For those of you joining the program this time, the program is Good Governance Ministry. That's the program. And we have Chinedu Asuzu Peters as the guest. And then he has been speaking tough. He told us the meaning of EndSARS. And for those of you who joined lately, he started by telling us what EndSARS stand for, not the SARS you know. He started with both the constitutional reform and then
Exactly.
broad treatment and then fixing our education sector
Exactly.
and then at the same time fat salaries and what have you. He stated a lot of things. But the one that touched me most is the analogy he painted. A struggling businessman going to ask somebody for help with long convoys.
Yes.
And you are going to ask somebody who has just a vehicle from money to support your business, and you are coming with long
Entourage.
convoy. And it's not very, very, out of place, if you ask me, because we have seen where, like presidents, most of these politicians, governors, they maintain 20 vehicles or more than in a long convoy. Their kind of motorcade is something else. And then they fly private jets. Fly private jets. Many of them have private jets in a country where over 80 million people live below less than $2. They fly private jets, and not just flying private jets, first class. Most of them that would want to enter public transport, they enter first class, not with their money.
Not with their money.
Not with their money, right? And then most times when they go outside the country, they have properties abroad. Their properties scattered all over the country.
Yeah.
I was actually looking at the Austrian president, and then even some countries in that they don't have convoys, they don't have all these things, but they have a good economy.
Exactly.
More than Nigeria. And most times you find out we have seen where governors ride bicycles to workplace. But then someone will tell you, you don't expect this in Nigeria because we have high level of insecurity. If a governor rides vehicle, he can easily be stoned, owing to the anger.
Of course.
People. But the truth is, if they should maintain convoy, like how many do you think would be okay for them?
2, 3.
2, 3.
Is the best, the biggest. 2, 3. Because the reason why they come up with so much of a convoy to intimidate the people. They are not like leaders, they are rulers.
Oh.
Yes, they intimidate, they oppress, you are their subjects, you are not their followers. Okay, and because they know that they have beaten you so down that the people are angry, so they have to have serious security detail. That's why governor will have over ₦1 billion as a security vote for 1 month.
Do you think any governor who is doing well, who is loved by the people, do you think he needs security?
He doesn't need much security. You just need security for just crowd control, because people will surge into, people will like to identify with you. Now, let me give you an instance.
Okay.
There is this man, and I wanted to say it, and I want to applaud this man. I have forgotten his name exactly, but I will get his name again.
Governor in Nigeria?
No, he's not a governor. He's a policeman.
Okay.
Here in Anambra State.
Is it Rabi
Ofege.
DP Ofege?
Exactly.
Rabi
Garba. Thank you very much. That guy is an example. He's an example of a good leader, because he came up with community projects, initiated programs that touches the lives of the immediate community. Fege is a crime-prone area in Onitsha, but this man came in and calmed everything down. You now see another side of life, that they can actually make a good thing out of life and have an accommodative environment. Now, this man, during this EndSARS protest, you saw what happened. While they were burning down different police stations, he came out, and the people saw him, and they embraced him, and he said, calm down, and they all calmed down, and they said, this is the kind of person. The people now change their, we no go agree, no go agree to, we love this man, we love the DPU, you understand, because of the impact he has made. To you look at, just like what you say, if the leadership is for the people, our people are the best kind of people you can see anywhere in the world. No country will tolerate the level of impunity up to this time. It is long overdue because the people are so religious, they are so accommodative, they are so understanding. Even if you hug them and come and say, I am sorry, they will embrace you without even seeing any reasonable change and give you another opportunity. So if the government, if the political class, even up till now, they are not vouching because they are not even trying to address these things that we named. Just to tell you that they are hard-hardened. Now, how do you tell me that the people will be problem? They will embrace you. You will not need too much security. And he said he's going to fight crime with education, with jobs. You understand? Now, this is the kind of leadership. When you present a good leadership to the people, crime will reduce to the... It is natural that in some places, but it will reduce to this barest minimum.
Why do they always want to suppress the masses and then take advantage of them and makes weight onto the cell? Why do you think so?
We've been asking the question, do they take an oath somewhere to make the lives of the people miserable? But I tell you the answer. How they emerge as leaders. They didn't emerge from the people.
Okay.
Yes, they didn't emerge from the people. They are imposed on the people.
Oh.
Yes, they are just like the colonial masters imposed indirect rule. They are imposed by their godfathers. And they are imposed by the central political party system. The way they emerge in political this thing, even political parties, the primaries, you see them agitating that they didn't have primary because Abuja have approved and sanctioned one person. And everybody... This is the problem. The leaders are not emerging from the people. They don't have connection with the people. They don't share the same aspiration with the people. So as a result of that, when they go into power, they serve the purpose of those who brought them in. But when leadership emerges from the people, when the people, if we channel this energy towards getting new political structure where new leaders will emerge from the people, young minds, progressive minds of innovation, minds of 21st century, minds that can bring in artificial intelligence and improve on the life of the people. Let me tell you, all these things will be in the past.
All right. I was just looking at what's going on in Congo and Rwanda.
Yeah.
They are neighbors, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can recall, Rwanda had genocide.
Exactly.
That was sometime around 1992.
Yeah.
Or there about 94.
Yeah.
So now, things have changed in Rwanda.
Yeah.
And they are now becoming the IT hub.
Exactly.
In Africa.
Of course.
And now, look at Congo. Congo has been bleeding. In fact, it has been trending. Congo is bleeding. And we're told about this very Congo. And then some people say that Congo is a replica of Nigeria. Because, when we talk about Congo, you may be thinking, we can also talk about what is happening in Nigeria. But then, incidentally, the same kind of problem. Insecurity everywhere. Poverty. Bad infrastructure. Bad economy. All these things. But look at the neighbors. Rwanda.
Doing well.
Paul Kagame. Trying to fix it out. Just like fighting crime with IT. Is this possible?
Yeah, of course. Very much possible. And ironically, we have the best heads. We have the best brains. Look at our people channeling their energy towards the wrong. If there is a surge of a flood, just like in the dam, it is because it is being controlled and channeled into proper use. Just like fire. If you control fire, it can serve for good purpose. Okay. But if you don't control it, it can start damaging things. Youths are highly intellectually viable and strong, IT-wise. You see them channeling the energy to the negative vibration because they were not given an opportunity to explore from the positive side. The government did not give them the enabling environment to flourish. We have young people from secondary school that became first in technovacia competition in the US. We have so many young people with very smart brains, but they are not given that opportunity because the people in government are not interested for the people's betterment. They're only interested in primitive accumulation of wealth, and they take their children to go out and get the best of education. So maybe their children can take over from them and continue from where they stop after they have gone. And they even have the boldness to tell you that Nigerian youth are unemployable because they don't have the required training and exposure to lead. You understand? Or to gain employment. Why their children, when they come back, they already have fixed places to enter? Why wouldn't the people be angry? Why would there be tension? When somebody said sometime that it will come to a time when the poor will have nothing to eat than only the rich people. It will start happening, and that is what you are seeing all over. That is the spillover.
Okay. For the benefit of those that have joined us late, can you repeat that EndSARS? The meaning again is important because some people make meaning out of it and you say that they should get pen and then put it down. Can you repeat the real meaning?
All right.
Of that EndSARS?
All right. When we say EndSARS, we say E for N for Nigerian constitutional reform, D for debt accountability, S stop fast salaries for politicians, A stop abroad, that's abroad medical trip, that is S. S is stop fast salaries, then A abroad medical trips, then R restructure Nigeria to regional government, then the last S there is save cost of governance.
All right, and then many people have been saying that the movement have been to restructure the country,
exactly,
and at the same time to save high cost of
governance
because it does not favor anybody anything
at all.
And then you look at the politics, how people went to warehouses to look for politics, and then you look at these people, those who are still in school, graduates, those they termed unemployable, those people who do not have any means of survival, running for noodles, running for 10 kg of bag of rice, running for this and that. Is people that all, I don't know how to put it, is people all that hungry? Please, can you
Tony, honestly,
let me repeat that question. It's important because anyone listen to us, I want us to understand, because the video I have here is the one, if you watch you'll cry. And I ask you, are people all that hungry to even take such a huge risk for a carton of noodle, or for
noodle, yeah,
what do you call it, 5
kg rice,
5 kg bag of rice? Does it worth such a risk? Are people that hungry in this country?
Yeah, Tony, you when I publish something, I say sea of hungry Nigerians. Sea of hungry Nigerians. Nigerian people are hungry. The poverty level is, and when we say that, we are not just being political correct. We are not just trying to paint words. We say it the way it is. Tony, when the cost of food is so high, we are just coming out of COVID-19, remember? And this palliative were meant for relief materials for the people during the lockdown. My brother, you ask, how wicked can these people be, those people in government? At all levels. It's not about the president. It's not about the senators. It's not about the local, the what do you call it, the governors. Every level of the government is rotten with impunity. Everybody trying to. Can you imagine keeping such thing in the warehouse? Perishable goods, perishable palliatives. At the time, the whole system was shut down. At the time when everybody was hungry, there's no money in circulation, no business happening, no food. And these things we are hidden away. These things, people are still discovering more of them. It is not like a treasury. Now, you see the reaction of the people. And to show you how hungry they were, or they are, at the time when they place coffee, they risked all. Now, if I die, make I die. I'm already dying. These are people who are dying of hunger. And there is an atom of hope. And I appreciate the security operatives that I've seen across Nigeria. I've seen so many of them who say, please calm down, don't rush and kill yourself.
Video. Even the
yes.
Were telling them, don't just calm down.
Calm down.
And they were there.
And the people went there because this is wickedness. This is wickedness, for Christ's sake. And this is, if they can hide such thing, some of these things were donated by individuals, by corporate organizations, and from government purse to procure some of these materials, and you refuse to dispute it later. Now that everything have relapsed, what is the need for? People are going out. And another thing again, you say people are hungry. We've been talking about ending open grazing. People are hungry because they can't afford food. The food prices are up. So if you have any opportunity, some of them, their children may not have slept with any food. So when they saw an opportunity to grab some food for themselves, you see, they have to rush out and risk everything. So the people are hungry. Anti-open grazing bill is what we've been, part of the things we are talking about. You know, this 7-point agenda is just general stuff, but there are much more to it. There are much more to Nigeria. There are much big problem in Nigeria that these things we mentioned, this 7 point we mentioned on EndSARS is just the irreducible minimum. Then the anti-open grazing bill to address hunger. Remember when I say, when people are hungry, you cannot control them. You cannot control hungry people. And you see, the people have demonstrated it, that they can actually make effect and change the system if they can do it rightly. And I must say this before we, as we continue. I must say this, that I condemn every criminal and hoodlum that took advantage of this situation to loot personal properties of individuals, businesses. We've seen that happen. Must suffer whatever crime they have committed, whether here or afterlife.
All right. And then now, having narrated the 7 points as articulated without insights, and people knowing very well what the political class have been doing all this while and what they're still doing. And many of them, remember, they think of next election. Once they are in there already, their next thought will be next election. Because that's what I'm interested in. When it's election coming, and during election, they are going to use people again and then give them, peanuts, put them, and many of them, I don't know. Why is that most times when you say we are going to give visa restriction, they will begin to shake? I want to ask you, what's the big deal about it?
My dear,
US we speak, we are going to impose visa restrictions on undemocratic forces in Nigeria or those who are culpable for one electoral fraud or the other. We see politicians quaking. Why is that so in Nigeria?
It's simple.
Why?
Their looted treasures are abroad.
Oh.
Yes, that is just it. Just understand that. Their looted treasures, they are all abroad. Go to their bank accounts. They have various bank accounts count across Europe, Asia, and America. Properties scattered all over the world. From the loot. They are the big looters. So they are the real looters of Nigeria. And they are the ones causing division in Nigeria. And I must tell you that the impunity happening in Nigeria has gone beyond be careful. And I must say that the people have the responsibility to say enough is enough. Why would they not be afraid? Even the Bible says, where your treasure is, that is where your heart will be. Their heart is not to improve the lives of the ordinary people in Nigeria, because they have looted all the funds and taken it abroad. That's why their children are schooling abroad. That's why they all have secured medical insurance abroad. That's why they are not interested in the people that are dying. That's why they are not trying to improve the lives of the security men who are supposed to secure you. That is why they have impoverished the people and make them volatile and very vulnerable for use at any time. That is what we saw. They knew that they have come to that point, but they don't know that something is happening on that. The people are having what we call mental surgery, and that is what we've been doing here. People are undergoing mental surgery to empower them to understand that all these things they have been doing. You see, EndSARS was very peaceful until they introduced violence. Who introduced violence? Not the protesters, but those who have political interest to discredit EndSARS, because they know EndSARS is not all about police brutality. They know that EndSARS mean all these things we've mentioned, and they're not interested in fixing them. But we must continue. That is all we can say.
All right, at this point, what do you think people should do?
At this point, what we think people should do is to rally around platforms like BVI Channel 1, where we educate the people. It's an online social media platform where we educate the people and empower them. They should rally around civil society organizations that are people-driven, people's restoration movement. That is why they have to. We've been here on this platform trying to mobilize the people so that people together, you have the power. The sovereignty of this country, the power lies on the people and not the people in power. That is the truth. So the people should rally around and channel this energy to take over power. And I must tell you, there are only two ways to do that. It's either you take up arms or you take up your voter's card. Some of them will say, no, election doesn't count. Hey, this one, no, they rig election. Who would they use to rig election? The people. Now we are all on the same page. Now we've seen the impunity that is happening in the system. We have to rise up together and fix it. And the best way we can do that is by political revolution, by using your voter's card to bring in and usher in people who have your plight at heart. That is it.
Do you think, because we're about to open the phone lines, do you think the kind of energy people display during the EndSARS protests, if they display that kind of energy during electoral or election period, whereby they would say kind of protest will be no more election rigging. In fact, we make sure sensitize themselves, and then make sure they bring this consciousness before the election proper. And that very day, they will say, let's choose people we want. We are going to retire these politicians.
Tony, I said to someone that asked me the same question some time ago, I said, if this movement that is happening now happened late 2018, I don't think that those people in government today will be in government.
So there could be a way, a movement whereby operator retire these politicians.
Of course.
They will come out.
This is part of the EndSARS.
And then before you know it, they will have their party tickets as usual.
As usual.
But this time around, unknown parties will be winning election.
Unknown people, unknown political platforms driven by the people. It must be people's driven.
Driven by the people.
Exactly.
Will be winning elections.
Exactly.
And all these popular parties you see around.
Of course. Because if you channel this energy towards political emancipation of the people, because that is where the power is. That is political power. Is the biggest power outside God's power. After spiritual power, it is political power. And if the people key into this, and that is why PRM was brought to organize the people. We have a parallel political structure from the world level to the national level.
Right. So what the campaign is more like, not for anybody to go and pick up just for people to
pick up your voter's card. Let us wait for them.
Right.
They will come to buy your elections. They will come to buy your vote. We'll wait for them. These are some of the indices for you to know that this person has been disqualified. He's an anti-person.
All right, 0701947885 or 0703813515. The program you've been listening to is Good Governance Ministry. That's the program. Good Governance Ministry is a program coming your way live on the rate on the Daily 9.1 FM of Posse.
Yeah.
And then it's one thing the Daily is trying to bring to you good governance. Exactly. And then we are preaching good governance. And what do you think? We have Chinedu Asusu Peters in the studios, our guest this morning.
Yeah.
He has been speaking to us about what he thinks EndSARS means, and then the kind of reforms that should be brought into a system, educational reform, and then constitutional reform, debt accountability, stopping abroad treatment, and then what have you. So many of them he articulated, and then saying that we must go back to regional government and then be more conscious of our electoral system, participate in election and then decide, take our destinies in our hand. Let's go straight to the phone lines. We have people calling us already. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, my sister.
You're welcome.
The voice of Rich Okoye, Mauritius Kingdom.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
My big guy, this is the EndSARS demonstration. The blessing this guy, this country. But those who lost their dear ones, a sad issue. You see, I listen to what they are asking to say. This thing that happened to this country shows the big lesson to the politicians who try to govern this country. It was started from the international community that Nigeria is the most capitalist people in the world. I can remember. And the victimity is to govern. But there are times that you trickle a person to the end point that let it happen. Whatever what happens, let it happen. So it is this demonstration. So my guest speaker, there's one question. Our deputy speaker asks you. I listen with interest to know how to answer that question. And you answer it to myself. And you added more issues. When you ask you about one man in the Lagos Jagaban, will this thing affect you? Interest say again, is there any time for him that meant you guys to say that he will amend what he had? Because if you listen to some of them, he made a statement that record people next to call his name. He said that this demonstration has been frustrated by the hoodlums, and he cannot take it. He's going to use force on them. After he said it, things started happening. Why is he trying to influence himself? He's the God.
All right.
My dear brother, what is happening in this country is so alarming. That the people now, the eye is open to see what is happening. And I want everybody involved in himself in this politics of this country. So that we know our rights. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm going to come back to you later on. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning. I want to greet all of you there in the house.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your name and where you're coming from?
Chukwu from Mobilizing.
Chukwu, please go on.
Yes, Tony, honestly, I've been so disturbed listening to what has been going on for some days now.
Okay.
Our politicians are wicked and evil. But now you see, I'm afraid again that the government is not even trying to help the matter. You see, instead of getting hard on those politicians that they hold those palliatives, they are rather clamping down on people, hungry people that just discovered where what was given to them were hidden, and they are collecting it. Government is rather getting hard on them, not even saying anything. Which means, if they're not saying anything against the people that play such wicked act, it means they are supporting them. And if they now do that again, I'm afraid they are trying to call for another phase of protest. Because by the time they now lock up all those people in the cells, people will come up for them again, taking their release. So governments really need to be peace-minded if they want to get this country at peace. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me take the last one. I can then come back to you. Shinedu, Susan Peters, good morning. You are welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning,
Yeah, welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, good morning, Shinedu. How are you?
Good morning to you, my brother. Good morning.
This is honorable morning. You're calling from Texas.
You're welcome. Honorable morning, man.
Yeah, my brother, I agree with you in some certain things you said, yeah. Those things you outlined, but I disagree with you in one. I disagree with you on one. That's
Okay.
what am I trying to say? You said that the cost of these users to our position being losing our money is because they have, it's like they have, they impose these people on us, like Abuja people have said that these people will go, they will go. No, I disagree with you on that.
So what do you think?
Yeah, our problem remains with us. Let me just give you some little analysis. Maybe I want to contest for a senator. Why I'm saying that is because I'm involved. I'm deeply involved for this. I witnessed this. I want to contest for a senator. I know about 2 million naira for this, but I thought that is that. It was not that money are requesting money from me. I have to go and borrow money from somewhere. Maybe before having all your election, you find out that you have incurred a debt of 200 billion. So where are you trying? Where do you think that I'm going to get those money from? When you go to that place, you start trying to pay back, make money, pay back, and get your own. But if our market deviates from money politics,
Exactly.
I think this will be okay. That's my solution.
All right, thank you so much. Let's get your reaction. What do you think about this last submission? Before we go to other submissions, we've had here that money politics seems to be one of the problems we're having. We are even the electorates go for those money bags politicians.
Exactly.
So do you think it's also
Of course. This is one of the campaigns we've been carrying on our shoulders for a long time, Tony Mbeki. And, good governance ministry have been puncturing on that very factor. Money politics and the politics driven by ideology. These are the two things. But Nigerian political setup, you have just money politics. But the people are playing justified. It is 100% truth. How will you incur 2 billion just for campaign? What are you going there to serve, or are you going there for another to recoup
But I
your?
don't think we have a law restricting how much you're gonna spend. That you will not spend such amount of money, because if you're to run for the office of a Senate office in the Senate, definitely there is a cap of what you can spend. But then they don't respect the law.
Do you know that the lawmakers are the lawbreakers? That is what you have to understand. They don't respect the law. And when you see from the political party, the amount of money they put for you to, they say the one of a intention, the one the intention form or whatever, that's to show that you want to contest. You pay for that one, then you now buy the form for.
Why do they make these things so
Very expensive? An ordinary person who is prudent, who have content to add to the value of the people, will not afford it.
Expression of interest form.
Of course, especially, you know the language they use. I'm not a politician, and you deal with them a lot. So let me tell you, this is the biggest problem. Now, coming down to the people, they have broken the soul of the society. They have made the people impoverished to the point that they have no other option than to beg for 5,000 naira for 4 years, because that is what it's all about. When somebody buys your boat for 5,000 naira, that is all you get for the entire four years. And this is the money they map out. This is the money they map out and spend in the election. Tell me, why will you induce me to buy my vote with cartons of Indomie, with derica of rice or tomato? This is to tell you that they know that you are hungry. This is an insult. People should start seeing that as an insult. Okay, but they say it as philanthropic. When you want to be philanthropic, leave it after election. Because what we are seeing in this part of the world is sheer impunity in the name of campaign, beginning with the people. So we are telling the people, please, nobody should buy your vote. Stop selling your vote. Stop being used against yourself, because you are being used against yourself. You are just giving them a moral justification for the politicians to keep stealing, for you to demand. In fact, in the society, if you go out to say, hey, Chineda Souls want to declare for governorship of Anambra State election 2021, they will ask you, how much do you have? And in Anambra State, I'm sorry to say it because I'm from Anambra State, but that is the truth. It may be when your money reach to some level of, maybe if your account balance start hitting like 100 billion, then you are now qualified to contest for election of Anambra State. That is to tell you, it is money politics of buying and selling.
What do we do?
It is what we are doing now, to sensitize and conscientize the people, because that is where it starts from. That is where it starts from. The people must realize that they are victim of this whole process. The people must realize that one of the main things to disqualify anybody coming to you is when he presents any inducement for you to vote for the person. Check the person antecedent. Where is he coming from? What has you added? You are in a village. You've not added value to your umunna. You've not added value to your community. You want to come and add value to the general of Anambra State. What is your antecedent in business? You've not managed any successful business, and you're coming to manage the whole of Anambra State or a whole of a country. It doesn't make sense. How do you express? Now we've been talking about end open grazing. What have you been speaking up against the impunity of the system? Because from the abundance of heart, the mouth speaks. So the same thing. So the people must understand that they are victim of the system. The people must realize that until we come together as a force, and that is why we are gathering people. If you have not joined PRM, this is the time for you to do so, because we are taking our lives back. It is a political movement to recover our lands back, to set a parallel political structure that will retire all this political class. If you have ever been a beneficiary of this impunity, the people must flush you out. There is no two ways about it. You don't need to be afraid. Stop calling me. Stop telling me to come and join you. Stop telling me, because what is going to happen, the next phase of this EndSARS will be so huge.
But remember, elections are fast coming. Definitely. And then we're going to have election in a number of states.
Yeah.
And then you think by the time people are well conscientized, their eyes are open, they will do the needful during the next election.
Of course, we're already doing that. We're already mobilizing the people. The people are already gathering. PRM is gathering the people. It's a platform for the people to say, what is the social contract we have with you? What is your connection with our plight? What is your antecedent with the suffering of the people? Have you identified with them? You made huge money. How did you make it? Because we start to ask questions. How did you make this huge amount of money? Why are you driving with all these exotic cars? Not that people are supposed to be rich, yes, but how did you come about it? Because we see people, majority of the billionaires we have today are patronized, or people who are patronized by government officials.
Wow.
They get huge contract that they never executed.
All right.
So that is it.
Let's go back to the phone line. Many people are calling. We're going to take quick 4 calls now.
All right.
One.
Yeah.
Please make it brief. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Yes, my name is Richard Nadi. I'm sorry for my
You're welcome. A brief one, please.
Yes. The bottom line is this, what if we tell ourselves the truth, we're not going to go forward. You find out that people have been agitating for reform, various kind of reform, and government has been bringing up all kind of cook and bull stories about it. Why is it that they can't do restructuring that people have been asking for a long time?
Bam.
I almost cried it last night when I listened to Minister of the Water Resources on channel saying that they are restructuring means different things to different people. Yes, I agree with him. A man enlightened and educated like that does not know what is a restructuring. If they want to do it and they say people have a different definition of restructuring, why not bring those people together so that they will say what they know as a restructuring from their own understanding, so that at the end of the day you can harmonize it, have a stand on the way to go forward. Why is it that we are telling ourselves lies? Southwest, southeast, south, even north central, we want to restructuring. It is only northeast and northwest that is not pushing for it. And until we settle down to do the needful, we are going to continue in this lockdown. When you look at it, the people are oppressed, depressed, suppressed. Even if you take them out of the street for now, there comes a time that you cannot contain them. It's like just proposing the evil day tomorrow. The earlier they do the needful, gather the youth. These are telling us that the EndSARS people don't have leaders. They have leaders. So that they don't want to come out in the open, because if they come out in the open, they will use all kinds of their tactics to oppress and to push them down. If
Thank
they
you so
actually
much.
want to move Nigeria forward, why can't Mr. President say, okay, the youth, okay, come, discuss with us. Let's see how we are going to move the thing forward. Rather, they are busy telling us about empower.
All right, thank you so much. Because of time. Because of time. Thank you so much.
Until we do the needful, we won't go forward.
All right, thank you so much. Make it as brief as possible. We are looking at time. I know the kind of content that is has generated. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. You're welcome. A quick one from your Boston. Because
Ganiru.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Then let's take the last one. Good morning. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Ganiru na nivi ne kwafuma.
Gabaniru na time I do wrong.
That's the problem we have. Now, for example,
All right, thank you so much. All right. All right, thank you so much. Because of time, we have to let you go. Apologies,
Yeah.
we don't have the time. Your final thought.
Okay, very briefly, I want to tell you that this program will continue next week, 11 a.m. to 12. And for those of you who said they need to elongate this program to 2 hours and that pleaded that they want to contribute and be part of this program, by next week we'll be announcing how you can help us to put this program forward. And again, we also want to inform you that Good Governance Ministry extends beyond what we're doing here. We're on social media. BVI Channel 1 is out there. You can follow us there. And as well, continue listening to Odenibo. Odenibo is a special radio program. We chose it because it's a good ground to educate the people.
Right.
And if you want to join PRM, quickly dial 0810 4207522 or 08060982212. Thank
Right.
you, and I'll be coming back next week.
All right, thank you so much, because definitely we're going to have this partnership with this very group and then see how things will fall. Thank you so much. That's what we can take. Want to appreciate everybody for your time. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chinedu.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
My
listeners.
name is Tony Lisa Becky. Do have a wonderful day. Next will be the news at 12.